Well, Ericim's got another mission. Changes. We'll just do that because it ties into the previous one.
Dom and I have been running down the mystery of our alchemically odd plants and degraded scries. We've got a working hypothesis, but we're going to need to lean on you again to prove it.
Alright. What's this work?
What's led you to the hypothesis?
Dom's been digging into the scry and noticed some tiny changes in yours that he's not seen before. Lane used a few leftover petals from the Mirian's bloom to run more tests. You really have an incredibly talented team here.
Alright, you're being assertive. I approve.
You're right on top of this.
I have been taking notes from my favorite point. She has this habit where she just drags things forward by force of will.
I do, don't I? There's just so much to do. Why ask permission when the next step is right there?
Alright. What do you need?
As long as I don't have to do any more cross-swamp runs, count me in.
Worse, I'm afraid. We think the source of the problem might be the miasma. Darm's theory is that it's slowly affecting the patterns inside the Enclave.
Our enchantments.
Everything. We've never been able to perceive or harvest them, but there's a school of thought that everything alive has a pattern in it. And if that pattern allows us to interact with and control magic, the theory goes that magic might be able to affect us in turn.
You think we're in danger?
Obviously, tangles are inherently dangerous, but that's the question we want to answer. Could they affect the creatures here in more subtle ways? Could too much magic explain the Spitfire's behavior? If so, we have to worry there might be long-term effects on all of us.
Spirits. How do we prove it?
You've been collecting resonance for all your time in here, as have our enchanters. That data gives us a baseline. What he needs, then, is a comparison resonance harvested during a miasma from any of the natural beasts. Arcs won't help, alas.
Right. I'll tackle it as soon as I can.
Okay, that doesn't make any sense because we already know that the miasma affects the creatures and the tangles because we learned that at the very beginning of the game when that drake is being affected by the tangle and Casman says it's rotted or something like that, meaning that the miasma or the tangles have taken over its mind. So we already know this. This isn't new information. Why are they acting like it's new information? Harvest a strand to collect the resonance from any natural creature while it is under the effect of miasma. Between the strange properties of the flower we collected, the erratic behavior of the Spitfires, and the terrible scries in the Horsider's care, we have a theory. Ericim's asked Dom to help one more time, and they want me to see if I can harvest a fresh resonance from one of the natural creatures around the Enclave when the miasma is present. Can I do this? Because I have harvested and finished off every creature, like every thing. All of my powers are currently maxed out, and I can no longer harvest. So I'm hoping it'll still let me do that, even though I've done it. No easy task, but I'm curious to know what they can learn. Apparently, any of the creatures will do, but no arcs. Yeah, so that means it has to be either a Highland Ice Claw, a Sledgeworm, a Glasstail, or a Drake. And as I've said, I've already finished all of the hunts. So, how you doing? I've already finished all the hunts, so it's gonna have to be the Glasstail. Oh, or it could be the Drake. What's easier, a Glasstail or a Drake? The Drake. The Drake will run away. Oh, that's right. Drake will run away. But the Ashtail has so many more things to think about. So yes, the Drake will run away. But but the Brennid Glasstail needs me to break 8 crystals, burn its hair off, and then make it headbutt the ground. That's too much for me to give a shit.
My. That's the highly signet. Did you know it can reveal the Enclave's secrets? Not that I needed it to pry into the eye's darker truths.
Alright.
I'm with you, Bryn. Didn't expect the miasma to be so intense over the scry.
You get used to it. Just have to use a more gentle touch and feel the way it slides.
Let me guess. You're trying to find another way to reach the source. I'm all for it. We'll be able to speak more easily then.
Ugh, I'm sick of your voice already.
Such impoliteness is unbecoming of you. Didn't your parents raise you to be a nice, respectful girl? I gathered from how I spoke of his own daughter that those are the core values your kind instills in their offspring.
Okay, y'all done? Can I go? Okay, I need to break one wing and then break your freaking things, right? Break your horns. Oh, thought you were attacking me. This is exactly why I didn't want to fight a dragon, though. This man is this annoying. Just land, my dude. Break one wing and then break the horns. Anyone who hasn't harvested a dragon. Oh well, if I'm up here, I might as well. Ow! Ow! Stop that! Oh, he's gonna land before I can get there. Of course he is. Fly! 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 Just gonna hit you until you fly. Alright. Give!
Since we know precisely under what conditions it's harvested, perfect for our study.
So much easier and faster, you know? Why would you waste time on a freaking ice boy? Frosty boy. It's on chest over here. For some reason I'm going over here. Ooh, but I also get a scout's journal. Detailed inventory of losses written to memorialize the fallen. And then I just destroyed it, but it's okay. I ripped the page out that matters. Hey, consult with Dom to examine it. I mean, that one wasn't miasma. That one was fine. I thought it would be like different being under the effect of the miasma, but it really was nothing like the first one we ever fought.
What's the verdict with the resonance comparisons, Dom? Are we all doomed?
Not doomed, no. But I have every reason to be concerned. Tangles only form in areas of intense magical concentration. That they're so common here in the Enclave makes it clear that this place is overflowing with magic. Have you ever blown into a bladder until it pops? I worry that's where we're headed.
No. Have you?
Ah. Well, I am from Renland.
The patterns did show signs of change then.
Subtle but present. What was intriguing was watching them relax over time. As if the miasma caused them to contract like a muscle.
So things might recover if we could bring an end to the tangles?
I think so. How exactly we pursue that agenda, I'm not sure. But we have several leads we can pursue.
We have to tell the Axel, though. She needs to know about this so we can take every precaution.
Oh. We?
Yeah. It's time. Meet you there.
What the fuck? You blew into a bladder until it popped? What does that even mean? What? You up? You are, which means you can get some lovin'. You ever blown into a bladder till it popped? Why? You know what? That's culturally insensitive. I guess I shouldn't question it. That's what they do in Renland, and I support it.
Both of you this time. Must be important.
It is. We've identified a long-term risk to our people. A source of decay in our enchanted devices. And I've prepared a list of safety measures we should take.
You have.
Yes, we... Wait. Why did you say that like you already know?
Arakim, do you know how intense the competition to become Axel truly is? Even in our diminished state, it is ruthless. Each guild jockeying for its representative to be elevated. To win the seat, you need allies, knowledge, and the will to use both.
You've been watching us this whole time.
I have been watching you, Bryn. Yes. I have been judging Arakim.
Always a test.
What I have seen is growth. Your enthusiasm and energy has never been in question. But your judgment and initiative have often been rash. But in working with Bryn's band, I've seen you set goals, lead plans, move from asking permission to making your case. Just as you came here to do, did you not? To lay out a set of clear steps we should take to preserve our new scries and keep our people safe?
Yes, that is exactly what I was going to do.
You should act on your recommendations with my complete support. I know you're not making them lightly, and they affect your people the most. So yes, it was a test. And as Khan, it will be the first of many.
You just said Khan.
I did. The scouts have been ignored for far too long, as we try to pretend everything is as it was. Enough. Unless you disagree, Arik.
No, not at all. We've been pushing for this forever.
Good. And you should thank Bryn when we're done. She raised a very salient point in our last chat that swept away the last of my hesitations. Now take a knee, would you? There's work to be done, and neither of us is really built for fancy ceremonies. If we have learned anything in the past while, it's that standing too firmly on ceremony costs us time and opportunities. We, as a people, would have withered and died without the tireless efforts of your scouts and their forebearers. And yet we have not recognized them out of fear of tipping a balance that was already lost. And so I elevate you, Arakim Katabi, to the station of Khan of the Enclave, and grant you the title of Guide. May your initiative and care chart a path for us all.
All right. You got a promotion. And you have no talk for me. Okay, do you have any talk for me, or are you going to say, we'll talk back at camp? Nothing? Oh.
She deserves a spectacle, not some scavenger in an abandoned temple.
You'll take what we can get, Henrik.
I don't think she would want a spectacle. Doesn't seem like her way. I'm heading back to camp to see if Karn Eric has any convo, any talk.
I think we all suspected prolonged exposure to the raw magic in here would affect creatures, but it's surprising to see how far it's gone.
What does this mean for people, though?
Is it possible the same thing is happening to us? Or has happened to the Hearthsiders?
While it's long been theorized we must have something akin to Strands in us, they've never manifested like in a great creature. On one hand, this means we need mantles to mimic what they do naturally. On the other, Asha, Cassil, and so on seem less affected by the Enclave. It's not like Arakim has grown a third arm. I think we can presume safety for some time.
All right, got any more details on Tangles?
You think this is caused by something other than direct contact with raw magic, like the Tangles?
Oh yes. It's that the air is so thick with magic that tangles can even form. It's unprecedented, and thank the flames for that. Imagine if every creature across the Maida acted as aggressive as the ones you're facing.
Okay.
What do we do about it, though?
Our first step has to be securing the source. If it's the reason the Enclave had access to so much magic before the Surge, it's also why things are so suffused with raw magic. You see, this is largely an infrastructure problem. The leaks in the tapestry will have to be sealed and magic slowly consumed through usage. If we can reduce the emission of raw magic to below our consumption, the concentration will drop. Once the levels inside match the rest of the Maida, we should be back to some semblance of normal.
Okay, sounds good.
Hard to believe I have a title now.
The Axel seemed certain you were ready for it.
Haroon's also a politician. She knows this somewhat buys my loyalty to her if she tries to become the next eye.
All right, how do you know that? Or no, not how do you know that? How is your role affecting your day-to-day now?
Do you think this will drastically change how you interact with the other scouts?
In time, I imagine so. We've been without an advocate for so long, and right now's the best time for me to push. I do have some promising candidates to take over day-to-day operations. I suppose we'll have to accelerate that process.
Takes multiple people to replace you,
You got me. Yes, I was bragging. I think it's critical we have some checks to make sure the system's working. If one group is over or underperforming, I can try to work with them to figure out why. Wins, listen to me. Just chain me to a desk already. All I do is stare at scrolls and move abacus beads now.
I mean, didn't really do much before, did you? Would you support the Axel as the new eye?
Would you support her then?
Haroon's a practical lady. She knows the scouts are critical to our ongoing survival. Farming and fishing around Cassidans keeps us fed, but rare materials for alchemy, medicines, enchanting and so on, all us.
Which gives you some leverage.
It does. But also my title is precarious, as she granted it as acting eye. No one's going to challenge her, not right now. But implicitly, if she goes, I go with her.
All right. Well, how you feel?
Job 1 will be dealing with the source, right? You feeling up to it?
If it were all on me, I'd be overwhelmed. But I've got your band. An exceptional group with an exceptional point. But you tell me, am I ready?
Just make sure you're true to your people, I guess.
You're ready to be a Khan. But I don't think you're ready to stop being a scout. And that's to your credit. Stanhold's failing was never getting his hands dirty. I don't think you'll make that mistake.
You are right. I have actually been stressed about that. I don't want to make my people think I'm shirking leadership, but I can't just sit around in the hall and do nothing.
Just do it. If you need to get out there, and you do, just go. Lead from the front, and then apply the lessons backwards.
That is damn good advice.
That's what leaders are supposed to do. If your leader is always in the back, they're not a leader. Okay. That's it.